After all the insanity that we went through today, or tonight, which is saying a lot because Shock Zone does not leave itself to be dissected on a regular level. It must be experienced. It's a very existential kind of thing. But after all of that, now we can transition back into the real world here, as we finally enter the why I say transgressional? Well, we enter the world known as cartoon news. Yes, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And for all you fine folks who like to be informed weekly about the cartoons that are coming, going, have been, and will be no more, this is the place to do it. So, welcome everybody. And I should note that tonight's theme, if I were, because it's nice to group the news stories into a theme, is death. Tonight's theme is death. And I wish I could say that that was like the Phoenix death, where like death and rebirth, but I'm sorry, I can't say that. That would be a lie. And I don't lie to you people. Often, but sometimes. But enough of that, I'm stalling right now. First up on the docket, for every cartoon news segment, we start out with the stuff that's being released, or stuff that's being announced to be coming up. So, on the DVD list, there are some things that you should be keeping an eye on. First thing that I think is probably the best thing that's actually on the list right now is Real Monsters, the complete series. Came out this week thanks to our Shout Factory, which is increasingly becoming my favorite DVD distributor. It used to be Creek Mill Entertainment because their stuff was so cheap, but right now, because of the back-to-back Nickelodeon releases, Shout Factory is #1 in my book. So thank you, Shout Factory, for Real Monsters, the whole 52-episode series, for $30. That is some nice coinage right there. Fortunately, not everything else on this list is going to be so great. Adventure Time Volume 3 came out this week as well, and it's not Season 3 like a lot of people like. No, it's the Jake versus Meow. It's a ramshackle set, but it comes with a hat. It comes with a fin hat. I'm not gonna buy it, but some people might. I guess maybe. I know some people don't mind not having like completionist sets. This is for you, I suppose. So 16 episodes for $20. That's all up for you people to enjoy. Speaking of complete sets, though, the wonderful Super Mario World, that kind of comprehensible but mostly cash grab cartoon from the 80s about the Mario game, complete series on that came out for $12. Not a very long show, not a very good show, but kind of a completionist thing there. Again, you really want to own it, now you can have it. And in fact, speaking of completionist things here, probably the most interesting thing that's been announced coming up, well, I'll tell you about that later, but keep in mind, there's something even more interesting in the completionist level there. One other thing to keep in mind for releases, though, since I'm talking about complete series, is the Inspector Gadget Show, Seasons 1 and 2. All that, you can own all 86 episodes of that, the 80s version of it, you can own all that for $100. I'm sure all of you have $100 to spare. Enjoy, I guess? Now, to be fair, it is a good show, and 86 episodes for $100 is possibly worth it, but I don't know how many people would be willing to pay that much all at once, which is probably what the people who put it out thought too, because they're also releasing you can buy season sets or season in volume sets if you want to like break up the amount of money that you pay for the show. So, good for them. Speaking of overpaying for stuff, Disney is once again squeezing the cash cows for all they're worth with overpriced DVDs for not a whole lot. The first 2 episodes of their new Marvel Avengers Assemble is now available, and 2 episodes, how much do you think they would sell 2 episodes for? And these aren't even long episodes, these are basic 22-minute episodes. How much do you think they would sell this for? $50? Oh, actually, that's being closer to the truth. But no, $20. $20 is what they're selling it for, and I don't know anyone who would want to buy that much for that much. But Disney, we gotta stop this right now. I mean, it was one thing with trying to sell a single Phineas and Ferb episode for $20. You gotta stop this. You gotta stop milking your cash cows. You are not going to keep business for very long if you keep this up. I'm just saying, you're not going to. Speaking of stuff that is maybe overpriced, but only because I don't know who would buy this, a re-release from the Hasbro people who are love to get your money and have been for decades now, but you willingly give it to them because it's Hasbro, are re-releasing one of their greatest hits of all time, My Little Pony: A Very Minty Christmas, just in time for the holidays. 3 months in advance. Yeah, no, this is not the Lauren Faust My Little Pony. This is the like Generation 3 My Little Pony, and you can have that for $10 if you really want the Very Minty Christmas special. Because apparently the pony is mint colored. You can have that for $10. And if you don't, I don't blame you for that. I know what you want. What you want, and I do mean you, yes, you who are watching this, you want Robot Chicken Season 6. Finally coming to DVD, Robot Chicken Season 6 has come out for $30. Not so bad, actually. And given the 20 episodes to go there, and a lot of bonus features to go with it, and it's also on Blu-ray too. If you happen to go the Blu-ray route, you may have that. And speaking of also stuff that you want, at least I want, and I think you should want it too, the greatest thing to come to the Scooby-Doo franchise in a long time, Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated Season 1 is finally available. You don't have to buy the sets, like the volumes or the ramshackle sets anymore. No, Warner Brothers was good to us. Warner Bros. Is good to us, because we are good to them. And they finally gave us Season 1 of Scooby-Doo Mysteries Incorporated for $27. And again, all these prices are the listed price. It's probably going to be a little less if you buy it straight from the store. So, thank you for giving us that. Because Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated is a really good show. And a really good version of the Scooby-Doo mythos. So, keep it up. We'd like some more of that. But the greatest thing of all on this list, and yes, I'm at the bottom of the list, don't worry here, is the last thing list that has come out in the last week. And this is for all you people who love your French animation, and by I mean your French animation, I mean your French animation that looks like Japanese animation. Totally Spies, all 3 seasons of 78 episodes of French trying to look like the Japanese. Somebody wanted that, I guess. Well, somebody will be getting it too, because now it's available on DVD. And how much do you think they're charging you for only 3 seasons of Totally Spies? Only $100! Yes, with that $100 you could have spent on Inspector Gadget, you can have Totally Spies! I'm not being fair, because I haven't seen the show myself. I've seen snippets of it, but it's not fair for me to judge it. I don't think I'd be buying it, though. Luckily though, if you don't want to buy it all at once, or if you are spitting out your coffee at the screen, I'm sorry Itchy, I'll buy you a new screen, they are breaking up as well into season release sets in case you want to, again, break up the amount of money that you spend on it. It's like you don't want to pay for the whole dentist bill at once, you want to break it up by tooth because that is more affordable. Even if it costs more in the long run, it's still more affordable in the long run. So that's Totally Spies for you, and that's all the DVDs and all the shows that have come out in the past week. Now, what are the new things that have been announced coming up in this past week? Like, over the past 7 days, what new stuff has been announced? I got some interesting things here. Alright, let's get the yucky stuff out of the way. Alright, Family Guy has apparently abandoned season sets, so instead they're doing volumes, where, again, they take ramshackle episodes, usually fan-requested, or, like, the more popular episodes, put them in a volume, put an audio commentary on them, and ship them out. Well, recently, they announced that on December 17th, we've got Family Guy Volume 12. That's 22 episodes of the great show. I'm sorry, I don't like Seth MacFarlane. For only $40. If you want it, you can have it. Also on ramshackle sets here, to kind of counteract the greatness of Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated coming to DVD, Warner Brothers is sucking their cash cow even further and putting out a ramshackle set of Scooby-Doo. This is the first time I've ever heard this. It's not just a ramshackle set of 1 season, it's a lot of seasons. Okay, this is called Scooby-Doo 13 Spooky Tales, subtitle, For the Love of Snack. Because we have not emphasized how much those two, Shaggy and Scooby, love their food yet. There's going to be 13 ramshackle episodes again, just random episodes from all of the different series. Like, I'll pop name Scooby-Doo, Scooby and Shaggy, Scooby and Scrappy Show. A lot of them mixed together there. Apparently they're really trying to suck the Scooby cash cow there, the Scooby cow apparently. And all that's coming on January 7th. You want it? You can have it. Something a little less of a cash grab, though only slightly, coming on December 3rd of this year, just in time for Christmas. Our good friends over at the Angry Birds Toons show are releasing Season 1, Volume 1 of their show. Admittedly, these are 2-minute episodes, so when they say that there are 26 episodes on this DVD release, that's basically only, like, you know, less than a little over an hour of entertainment to enjoy. So, on December 3rd, you can own the first season, first volume of Angry Birds Toons, because if you haven't played the game enough, now you must own the cartoon as well. Take care, Lunar. Thanks for coming by. But that's not what we're here for. No, I said there was going to be something really interesting, and I wasn't lying. Okay, the most interesting thing, and I gotta link this to you just so you can see this, because trust me, this is worth the look up here. The most interesting DVD that's been announced coming up here is one that is entirely for completionists only. Entirely for completionists. And if you've never seen this before, I don't blame you. Alright, coming soon from Warner Brothers Entertainment, on January 28th, you can own Pinky, Elmira, and the Brain. They're Pinky, Elmira, and the Brain. I deeply regret this. I didn't even know that they still knew this show existed! This was the ultimate of cash grabs here. This was the death. I said this night was going to be about death, and this is where it's all starting. The death of Warner Brothers' own animation. Like, this was the last show that they made before Pokemon took over, and they basically sold their soul to anime, basically. But again, for the completionists out there, if you really want to own all 13 episodes of this weird idea for a show, which I'm sure one of you out there wants this, you can own this for $20, or you can pre-order it for $14. Save a little extra money, because it's not worth all the pennies, I assure you, on January 28th. So that's all the stuff that will be coming up soon. Details to come around. Now, shifting gears over to the news segment about what stuff has happened over the past week. What of the last 7 days has occurred that you need to be aware of? Quite a bit, actually. But again, it's mostly related to death. Lots and lots of death. And sadly, all of it's internal as well. Anyways, our first story for tonight involves more of the Angry Birds. Now, this is a game that is really easy to get into, and I'm not surprised why it's become such a big marketing tool. Like, there are Angry Bird crackers, for goodness sake. It's a really popular thing. So popular that they're making a CGI film out of it. And this does not surprise me again. Stupider things have been made into films. But on a development note, the news for the night is that they have finally announced the directors for the film. And here are their names right now. And only those of you who actually have knowledge of directors and storyboard artists will actually know these people, because they have never actually directed anything before. But their names are Fergal Riley, who is a storyboard artist from Sony Animation, and Clay Kaitis, who is an artist from Disney from the past couple of years. Again, they've never done directing work before, but again, this is not the kind of film that I don't think requires a very experienced director, so I don't even know what they're going to do with this story, or this idea to make a film out of it, but yeah, coming on July 1st, 2016, Sony's going to be putting out Angry Birds the movie. So, I'm kind of curious I was curious when Battleship came out, because I wanted to know how they would turn the board game into a movie. It didn't pan out very well, but still, you kind of want to know how are they going to do this. So, development's on that coming, I guess, and we'll wish Riley and Kaitis good luck on making this into a coherent film. It is kind of the death of creativity in movies, if you want to call it that, but I hardly doubt this is going to be, like, a major breaking dam of anything happening in cinema. So, at the very least, we can, like, salute it and send it on its way. What is more death-related, though, and this is where we're getting into the sadder stuff here, kind of, is the death of television animation. But of course, what would you expect from the people at Fox? More specifically, Fox has a weird history with creating shows for their animation domination block and then not releasing them. And they've done this for a lot of shows too, because just because The Simpsons was popular, they think they can make anything. Well, apparently they cannot. This new show that they actually put up for production was called Murder Police. And they put in an order for 13 episodes for it, and they got a bunch of people to create it and work on it, and the voices, and a lot of actually talented people to work on this. But no one wants to show it. After the first bits, the first couple of episodes have been like looked at by the executives, they decided they don't want to air it on Fox. So you will never see the show Murder Police on Fox. Not that you are watching Fox anyways, because what does Fox have these days? Don't kill me! But they are going to try to make some money off of it. What they're going to do is they're going to kind of pitch it around to cable channels and basically people who will buy anything that they can get their hands on. I'm not so sure if, again, this is going to be anything worth checking out, but it does kind of show that Fox does not have much to do with their animation domination block anymore, because Seth MacFarlane shows are all dying, like the Cleveland show's dead, American Dad's going to TBS now, and all they really have going are Simpsons and Bob's Burger, and or Family Guy too, but I try to forget about that show. So what's next for Fox? I don't know, but maybe they'll try to finally do something that is actually good rather than just mature. We can only hope, but we won't find out for a while now. It could probably go to Comedy Central, because as far as, you know, we'll greenlight Brickleberry, so we'll greenlight anything, because we're Comedy Central. I cannot put enough quotation marks around the word Comedy Central. I have too many fingers, I apologize. Now, more death on the way here for a company that I actually do care about, and I think most people do too. And this is actually something that probably is not going to break too many hearts there, but it's worth noting still. Pixar is still alive. Don't worry, they are still alive, but their Canadian branch is not. A story for tonight: the Canadian branch of Pixar, which is basically set up in Vancouver to do short films. They did a couple of the Toy Story shorts and some of the Mater shorts for the Cars movie, like, you know, the spin-offs for that. That little production studio is no more. It's being shut down because they set it up because apparently Disney was supposed to get tax returns or tax incentives or something. Like, it was supposed to be cheaper to animate it in Vancouver than it was to do it in America. Like not exactly outsourcing it, but more like doing it in a place where it costs less. Like, Michigan had this for a while, where you would get tax write-offs if you filmed in Michigan, which was a way to try to encourage filmmakers to come to Michigan. Apparently they tried to do that for Canada as well. So Disney's just kind of shutting down that house, and they're going to shift all their attention just to the American Pixar studio, the one in California. So all we've really lost is the studio that gave us Partysaurus Rex and Air Mater. Haven't seen those ones? That's okay, you didn't miss out on too much. But still, it's kind of a shame that Pixar can't expand any further, and that, again, they seem to be just centralizing down on their one facility. But again, we're not losing too much there, so I think we can move on with our lives without being too disappointed. It is a shame, though, that they lost 100 employees there, and again, in this economy, no one wants to lose anything, especially not their jobs. But to end off the night here, let us have a good story, kind of. No, it is a good story here. Enough with the death of Pixar, the death of television animation, or the death of creativity as it is in the media. No, with one shining hope here. Our shining hope goes to, all comes back to Cartoon Network. And this is more of an update for people who weren't paying attention anyways, but just in case you weren't. Cartoon Network is greenlighting new shows to be coming out, and one of them is finally getting a TV premiere. The show Steven Universe is finally approved to come to Cartoon Network in an official premiere, not just a teaser episode or a pilot episode. No, the actual show is coming on November 4th. That is a Monday, in case you weren't keeping track. Monday, November 4 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Steven Universe will be coming to Cartoon Network, and this one I'm looking forward to, because if you were paying attention to the trailers, or not even trailers, but a preview of it, I think they call it a teaser of it. We saw the first episode of it, basically, and it was not too bad. It was kind of, I don't want to call it a deconstruction of the magical alien fighting genre kind of thing, but it was not what you expected. It was very off the wall, it was very absurd humor, but it was not stupid humor. Like, Uncle Grandpa's another show that came out recently. I don't really hear a lot of people defending that one, but I do have a lot more defense for Steven Universe, and I'm not sure where it will go from here, but I do have more hope for this holding on for longer than some of the other things that Cartoon Network's been making recently. So, good to you, Cartoon Network, for hopefully making a show that will continue the legacy of good quality entertainment in the 2010s era, or whatever we're calling this decade. And hopefully it will not be continuation of death. And that was cartoon news for this week. Not all death-related, but at the very least, we need to pump some more life back into the animation medium in a way that does not kill and destroy and cause the death of Canadian animation branches. So, thank you all very much. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go pre-order Pinky, Elmira, and the Brain, because that is something that the completionist in me needs to add to the shelf. And it's gonna be